You gotta have seller vetting. There's so many sellers out there who have no business breaking or selling singles.
There should be an age limit for people entering breaks and repacks.
I mean, I guess it is fraud, right? If you do a repack already and you're not putting in what you say you are, or you're scamming people, like that's fraud. So
there needs to be like a bare minimum for the sellers on the platforms and the individuals that are actually paying for these products and services.
But the cream rise to the top, oh yeah.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Hobby Pulse Check. Every Saturday morning, say I got a little late start, but every Saturday morning, the Hobby Pulse Check. In today's episode, we go over, the topic is regulation. Okay, regulation. If you could add one piece of regulation to the hobby, breaking, grading, selling, anywhere you want, what would it be and why?
Yeah, as far as regulation goes, I would want to see any selling platform whatsoever, whether that's Whatnot, Fanatics Live, eBay Live, Loop, any of the smaller ones. Drip, I think, is one as well. Even YouTube and TikTok, where I don't think it's enforceable just because of how big those platforms are. You got to have seller vetting. There's so many sellers out there who have no business breaking or selling singles. You just see too much stuff of a kaboom in a pack, and then the kaboom isn't in the pack anymore, or just a bad experience. I just think that some of these platforms, namely Whatnot, does just such a poor job vetting sellers. And then if you're new, you're coming on there and maybe you get shown good sellers, or you scroll down a little too far and now there's somebody who has no business selling, who somehow got approved through an automated process, and they just have no business, selling to anybody. So seller vetting would be my number one for regulation.
I'm just going to ask a follow-up to that. Yep. Do you find, I scroll Whatnot on the lives, and everyone is like some 20-year-old dude, and there's not going to be much professionalism there because of who's breaking.
So yeah, you can go down, you can scroll down, and you can see some shit once you get to the three people watching, 8 people watching. Yeah, for sure. It's on Whatnot though. Fanatics Live is a little different. They do a better job vetting.
It is.
But Whatnot, man, you can see some shit on there. So
let me think about that for a sec. I think off the top of my head, the first thing that comes to mind is there should be an age limit for people entering breaks and repacks. I guess it would be 18, but I don't think, again, that's not really an area I spend much time in, is breaking and repacks. I obviously know a lot about it, but I think that an 18, someone under the 8, I think it's reasonable to say somebody under the age of 18 should not be partaking in this, or maybe it's even 21. What's the gambling age limit? I think it's 21, but
yeah,
it's not exactly gambling. It's a little different than going to the roulette table and rolling some dice, or the craps table and rolling some dice. It's a little different, but there's enough similarities there that I don't think 14-year-olds should be entering breaks or buying repacks on the regular. And sort of, yeah. So that would sort of be my, I'm generally against regulation. I think most people are, but that would be one I certainly wouldn't have a problem if somebody like introduced that. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Look at me, America. Look how Tron is living for the city.
In general, I'm not huge on regulation. So, I mean, I do think there are solid arguments for it in terms of what I would personally go for. I mean, I think like I've heard the under 18 thing being floated around a lot. I would think that's in the terms and conditions of a lot of these apps, but if it's not, I don't think you should be able to I don't know how exactly you word it, but I don't think 14-year-olds should be able to spend big money and just enter into a break, without some sort of approval or that kind of stuff. Otherwise, once again, I don't know exactly how you would phrase it. I haven't thought through this super well, but I mean, there should be some sort of definitely legal protections. I guess it is fraud, right? If you do a repack already and you're not putting in what you say you are, or you're scamming people, like that's fraud. So yeah, I think me personally, maybe it's a little bit of a hot take, but I wouldn't be super in favor of like the government getting their hands all the way into our hobby. But I think, obviously anything to protect minors, I'm not super educated on what those laws are currently. And once again, obviously just making sure there's an enforcement, I don't think it's up for debate. If someone's committing fraud, if they're lying, if they're stealing, like that we can't have that in the hobby.
Psychic vampires stealing the energy from the kids.
Yeah, so any piece of regulation, I think it would be great if we had more transparency when it comes to what's inside of repacks, your odds of making your money back, the break-even analysis, all of those different things to kind of give you an idea of how likely you are to get your money back. And even if you know, like, hey, the person's making this much money, at least you know, which would be nice. I also wish for regulation, which I know regulation's hard. We don't really want regulation in the hobby, right? More regulation's not always a good thing, but protecting consumers is a good thing in some way. So regulation from the leading companies, the whatnots, the fanatics, that's good. But there needs to be like a bare minimum for the sellers on the platforms and the individuals that are actually paying for these products and services. And I don't know how they do that, but if they can make sure that those individuals are reputable, then I think a lot of the other issues would sort themselves out. When we see whatnot, when we see these other platforms with just random Joe Schmoes like you and I, and let's say we don't have good intentions, it's really easy to scam, and it's really easy to switch out the Pokemon card after it's pulled or switch it with something else, and there's not really consequences. So regulation, showing what's inside of the products, the repack, but also who is able to like host these different activities.
I hosted the shit out of that party, and that's just not setting the table, okay? I made a playlist. I thought of cool shit to talk about. I provided security.
My take on regulation, especially with all the news the past couple weeks, is there needs to be more oversight in auction houses and mystery packs and breakers. And I don't know if that means there needs to be a commission out there or a branch out there that is working with these people or providing oversight or providing audits. I don't know exactly how, and it seems a little far-fetched, but yes, the bigger or the more this becomes or looks like gambling, or the more that the auction houses, we realize, don't provide as much transparency or legitimacy as maybe we think, yes, there needs to be more transparency. So whatever regulation in place we could get to add transparency or have an oversight commission, I think that's pretty important. And the second thing I'd move to, which is really far-fetched and will never happen, I don't even know if you consider this regulation, is the print runs. Print runs should be transparent from the manufacturers. They should show us really how many cards out of how many cards. So the total denominator of every single card and the numerator of how many cards there are of that exact card. And you think you know the serial number cards. What about every other card? And if we really did the math with all the serial number cards, you wouldn't be happy seeing.
It's like if you actually look at Mookie Betts, okay, 2014 Topps Chrome update, that card, about 10,000 of them exist. It sounds like a lot. That's like nothing. But then we compare it to a flagship set of 2024 Series 1 of a rookie in that particular product. It's almost 1 million, if not 1 million. So it's just crazy how much it's increased. So I think that Topps would be hesitant.
1 million?
Oh, yeah. It would 700,000 to 1 million.
From what? From 10,000, you said?
Yeah. And I will say that example I used was pretty specific because it's in a specific format, mega boxes. You get 2 packs. But still, they're up a ton. The Trout 2011 Topps update is estimated to be around 60 to 70,000 of those printed. So it's literally 10 times more now. So that's why I don't think they will do that, but I would love it, and I think everybody else would like it too.
But a sports moment that sticks out to you, that's your happy place. What sports, I guess in your own playing career, or just in real, in pros, what sticks out to you?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna be self-indulgent and do mine first. I would say we beat Louisville on our home court at Wake Forest. They were number 2 in the nation, I believe, with Donovan Mitchell and some really good players.
Oh, hey now, all right.
Yeah, the fans stormed the court, and I remember. And the funny thing about Wake Forest too is it's not like going to South Carolina or like Arizona or Texas or one of those schools. Like, we got treated well as athletes, but we weren't treated like kings usually. That night we were treated like kings, which was pretty cool. And then in the Philippines, it wasn't even like the biggest moment for me in terms of like the stage, but we won our, long story short, I kind of got like booted off one team and then another team just kind of took me on. And then the discard team, we went and won the whole tournament against the team that booted me off all the big guns. And that was like a big moment for me. That felt really good. But probably what people actually care about in real sports, favorite moments, I think the first one that comes to mind, and it's not like one specific moment in time, but the Barry Bonds home run chase. That was huge for me as a kid because I went to the Giants games growing up in San Francisco, and just the hysteria. You know what? Okay, maybe this isn't actually a good one, but the combination would be what I probably remember most distinctly was when the Giants lost to the Angels in the World Series.
That killed me.
And I just started like, to be fair, don't give me too hard of a time, guys. I was like 6, but I just remember, like, I'm not a super, especially about sports, not a super emotional guy, but I was just crying. Like, I was like, that may be the most distraught I've ever been in my life that I can remember. I was just so torn up. I think just because I was young and I didn't have any type of perspective, like, I just always thought, like, there's no way they're going to lose. Like, it's destined for them to win. So
I think Dusty Baker took out Russ Ortiz. I think that was, I can't remember perfectly, but I'm pretty sure Baker took out Ortiz because I was a pretty big Giants fan at that time too. That one hurt. That one definitely hurt.
It did hurt. I remember once again, I don't have many like distinct memories of being 6. I remember I think I actually even had baseball cards and I like put them, I didn't literally put them in the trash. I think I hid them under like a step stool in the bathroom. I was like, I never want to see my Giants stuff again, all this stuff. So that wasn't a great memory, but if anything, I think that's a funny story.
I want to say thank you to the guests. We're experimenting here. The first 10 episodes are with the guys, these 4. And then, we'll switch it up a bit. And maybe we won't run 10 episodes in a row, or I won't run 10 episodes in a row with the same guests, kind of keep it fresh. But I'd love to keep bringing these guys back as well as add some others. Again, thank you to Chris and Run Good Life James and Trike, Troy, and Scottie B. And I hope everyone has a great day. Hit the like button, subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.
What up, everybody? This is Robert Ory, a.k.a. Big Shot Bob, and you're watching Professional Sports Cards. Hey, by the way, go buy my rookie card.